Hello, and first thing to say for this year's first Hangout of 2015 is Happy New Year to everybody. I hope that the year started well for you all, and I'm glad to see a good few of you turning out for tonight's Hangout. Just say thanks, as always, to Boyd Crumpton for allowing us to host this under the SFMA name here for the European members, and hopefully some of the people in the States will join us shortly as well, or anywhere else in the world if they want. Also to Boyd's or Trek SFMA sponsors, HDA Model Works, providers of LEDs and so on, and to Tenant Controls, Ralph Canaglia at tenantcontrols.com, who provides all the lighting for whatever starships or robots or whatever it may be you're building. The usual thing, I usually start off just let everybody just themselves here. So if we go from my Google right or left as I look at it, Spencer, hi, good evening.
Hi Liam, hi everybody. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Right.
I'm sorry, mate. I was just reading an email and that, and I completely. I presume it's a case of what I've got going.
Or just to say who you are initially.
Yeah, sorry. I'm Spencer. Some of you know me on the G+. Do a bit of everything really. Live in London. That's about it really. I notice we come on here most weeks and that, and you repeat yourself, and it's like I can't remember what I said last time. So, yeah, anything sci-fi, civilian, artillery, you know, you name it. If it's good, I'll build it.
Great stuff. So we'll come back and see what you're currently working on shortly. We move on now to Randall, my compatriot from the northwest of Ireland.
Hi everybody. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Randall.
My name is Randall Scott from Portstewart, Northern Ireland. Just a hop, skip and a jump over the mountain from where Liam is in Derry. And, well, at the minute, not really working terribly much on modelling. I've been busy all day taking Christmas decorations down, things like that. But what I have been working on recently is Thunderbird 2. Model. Still. Not much change there from the last time.
Yeah,
and but I've been adding a few bits and pieces inside. And yeah, that's easy LED lighting strip, which will light up the pod from the inside, hopefully. And at the minute, I'm just sorting through bits and pieces here, looking for items that I can stick inside for extra detailing, wall panels and stuff like that. Other than that, not much.
That's good. Good start to the year. We'll come back and maybe talk in more detail about that afterwards, but move on now to John Petrie in Newcastle.
Hello everyone, most of you know me. I'm John from the northeast of England. Been building models almost a couple of years now, mainly sci-fi. I'm building the Kazon ship at the moment. I'm just about ready to assemble it. So that's about it. I'll come back and talk shortly about it, please.
Okay, John, thank you. Okay, go on to my co-host, Craig. Hi, Craig.
Hey guys, Steve UK on the forum. Working on a few things at the minute. I'm working on my alien isolation thing, and I'm finishing off my Shaun the Sheep thing. So I'm out with my Shaun the Sheep thing, got the Land Rover. Kind of minging.
You put some lights in there, Craig.
Yeah, all the lighting's done. I just need to.
Question, William.
So I've got that done. The alien that I'm sure you've all seen, with the snot and drool everywhere. That's the alien. And for a spin, I'm doing an isolation diorama instead of a Nostromo that I thought I was going to do. So I'm in the process of doing my hatch. There's my hatch. Opens up and got the hatch. on the inside. That's pretty much where I'm at.
Busy as always.
Yeah, a few things on the go.
If we move on to Andy Johns. Hi, Andy. I think your microphone's... Oh, you're just...
Hey, Liam.
I hear you're not well.
No. I've been suffering with a cold since Boxing Day. So, apologies if I inadvertently cough on camera. Yeah, I'm from Bracknell. I've been modelling for a few years, 20 plus years now. And just finished the JJ, which is sat here, and I'll show you that in a bit. I'm not going to be able to show you it lit up, I'm afraid, because I haven't got the power supply in here, and it's absolutely freezing cold out in the conservatory. So, but yeah, that's me at the minute. Okay.
Well, we don't want you getting any worse. So don't be going out to the cold.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here with layers on. So, right. Okay, if we move on, last but not least, to Andy Golightly. Hi, Andy.
Hey, everybody. I'm Andy in the northwest near Blackpool, and still slowly decaling the JJ prize. A few more days, and I think I'll be ready to attach the nacelles and try and get it finished eventually. Been quite busy the last few weeks, as everyone else has, so I've not really done much, to be honest. So. But yeah, it's getting there. I tested the lights, it all still lights up, which is brilliant. After I dropped one of the nacelles this morning, it was quite worrying. But yeah, so that's all I've got at the moment, really.
Okay, I'll come back to you afterwards, Andy. Perhaps get a look at it. So far as I'm concerned myself, I've been sort of. I know if you guys know, I was revamping the whole garage workshop set up over Christmas, because I got a couple of presents from between birthday and Christmas. Things like, well, I'll blame Spencer and Andy for, well, you probably not, it's in the background there, you can't really see, there's a new bench, which I can't really get around to show, but it was the same bench that they have. So everything else, I've been completely sorting out the whole workbench, so I've actually got room to build things. That was this little camera, or this thing here you see there. It's a laser cut wood stand that comes as a kit for putting all Vallejo paints on, and lots of little drawers underneath. That's available on Amazon, and I really recommend it. It went together unbelievably well. Just slots in like a model kit. Great for storing everything. And I can actually see the paints now, whereas before they were all just in a sweet box, one of the classic Christmas quality street tins. You keep everything in.
So you make them organised now, Leah?
Well, yes, if I can keep it that way, John. That's the problem, because I'll end up, if I go back into my bad habits, I'll go back to it. Well, I mean, apart from today, for example, I was saying to Andy, I just took a notion this morning to build something, and I thought, rather than a sci-fi thing, I just want to try and get something done quickly. So I managed to get most of I know it's not sci-fi, most of a 1/48 scale Messerschmitt 109 done. Still a lot of work to do on it. I mean, it's not even at the painting stage yet, and I still have to connect on the wings, but very pleased with the amount of work I got done in one day, which usually takes me weeks. Probably partly because I've got the space now sorted out, and everything's in the one place and I can get access to everything. So hopefully things will speed up in the future and really get things sorted a little bit quicker. The other workbench, the bigger one, that'll be sort of, I'm going to keep that for soldering and wiring and doing hopefully larger kits on that, because it's a bigger space to work on. One of the biggest things I want to try and start doing is to try and start doing some videos, be it construction videos or a video about a specific subject or something. So I've got a little webcam. I'm going to try and see if that'll work from above, pointing downwards. But it's just coming up with different ideas to try and record the stuff. I know a few people that I watch on YouTube. There's I don't know if anyone else watches Chris and Alex modeling. It's a father and son team that build aircraft mostly, but they have a nice setup so far as how they record stuff. It's all done vertically, and the two of them sit at the bench with the camera pointing from above. But it's a very funny set of videos to watch, because the son Alex he's either 9 or 10, very competent builder, amazing builder. but the father-son relationship just it's like a Laurel and Hardy routine, with one telling the other off constantly about what's wrong here or right there, whatever. But I would recommend it. Chris and Alex modeling on YouTube. If you could have a look. And they churn out. There's times they churn out 3 videos a day, and they're just incredible builders, and everything's done on a very low budget. You know, everything's. They love Poundland. They'll go and recommend this. They find something. They'll find a paint or a light or sanding sticks, or whatever it might be. But very, very nice building, and all done on the lowest budget possible. But I would recommend having a look back to their videos. Very good information too about how to care for airbrushes, and recommendations about what to buy and so on. And not necessarily, you know, the high-end stuff. These are the 18, 19, 20 pound airbrushes, which I have myself, which I can't fault. So far, and I've had good success with them. Jamie Shiner's just joined us. Hi, Jamie. How are you this evening?
Hey, guys.
You want to say hello? Just introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Jamie Shiner. I'm from Cheshire in UK. I've been modelling for about 20 years. Just getting on with the work with the Enterprise, which I'll show you in a bit.
Okay. If we want to come back, maybe work our way through people again. I mean, I know it started off with Spencer originally. If he's prepared to talk about what he's working on at the minute, or to answer all of the nasty newspaper reports today about the De Agostini. Our children will not have clothes. We can't treat our children because we're buying that model.
Yeah, exactly. Unbelievable, isn't it? The thing is, it's like every time a part work is released and it's advertised on TV, the gutter press basically get in there and put their pennies worth in. And it's like anything, you don't have to buy it. It's that simple, you know. It's if you want to buy it, go and buy it. You know, it's an easier, because it's spread over 2 years. As with all part works, doesn't matter who it's by, it breaks it down. You go out and try and buy this one, you know, by the time it's finished, it's more than a £900 kit, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about
it is the
yeah, the Millennium Falcon.
It is the MR. It is the Master Replicas, because they were heavily involved with Master Replicas in accurizing it, making sure it's right.
It's an improvement on the Master Replicas because
it's a major improvement. Yeah. The Master Replicas in that is basically the same as the bloody Hasbro. It's the top and the bottom bolted together. With this, you've got full interior detail. You've got LED lighting. You've got undercarriage. I don't know about sounds, but it's far superior, and even they've said that because they've worked very, very closely with them.
Do you think is there any danger that someone might?
No danger at all of it stopping halfway through. Not one part work that De Agostini has been involved with has ever stopped halfway through.
As long as it gets past, like they do the 5-issue run.
They did the 5-issue run in March.
Yeah, and as long as then it goes to production.
Yeah,
they've always run.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, you've got a major license like Star Wars that isn't gonna stop halfway through. I'll tell you that now. There's so much money has been invested in this. It's it's one of those things. And like I say, at the end of the day, if people don't like it, fine. Go down the pub, spend your money down there, or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? It's entirely up to you. It's £2.99 for the first issue, 14 days, 2 weeks. After you get the second issue, and it's $8.99, and it runs for roughly 100 issues. Magazines. And with that, sorry, no, it's not. The first month is free. All right, because as with all part works, the first issue is released, then there's a 2-week gap, a fortnight, and then each issue is released every week. If you subscribe, all right, on the Model Space or the De Agostini website, you are then sent one pack a month. That pack will consist of, say for instance, January, 3 magazines with all your parts for those 3 magazines. February, you'll then get 4 packs, all right, and so or 4 magazines and so forth and so forth. So it's
basically it's 30, 35, 96 each time.
Yeah.
they take a
it's about £35 a month.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you tell me where you're going to get something this big and this accurate, and is the ultimate Falcon. You know, everybody goes on about the master replicas, but this has been worked very closely with them. Like I said, it's got the interior and everything like that.
Based on the people that I saw buying it in both my local museums and in Coleraine, near to where Randall lives, it was all people our age that were buying it. It wasn't.
No, it's not going to be. This is what I say. When the papers say about their kids, it's like it's got nothing to do with the kids. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be people like us.
Yeah, unless the fathers are using the kids as an
Yeah, exactly. My boy's 10 years old. He's got no interest in Star Wars whatsoever. None. It's all WWE. Do you know what I mean? And I must have spent over £1,000 on WWE figures. So don't tell me that 900 quid for a Falcon's expensive.
Is that?
And he pulls the arms off.
Is that one of the artworks I see on your desk at the minute, or is it?
Well, it is. It's the Falcon. It's part of the Falcon, and it's like, you know. As you well know, there's the first issue with all the parts and everything like that, and there's another one part there, and what I'll do is without going in too far into it, I'll show you the differences. There's like since the original test, there's been a lot of changes. The actual parts are bigger because I think they got the scaling wrong with the test. The accuracy was inaccurate. There's obviously you got the laser. If you can see that, you got the laser gun. That's the original. And then you've got. I can find it. Because I've put it down somewhere.
I need to come and organise it.
Right, and I've painted that, but there's the new part. Now that comes with including the screws. That's 9 parts, whereas the other part was 3. So
how much painting do you have to do?
Right, there are certain parts which they class as pre-painted. So when you actually look at that, it's pre-weathered.
Okay.
So to anybody that got no painting skills, as far as they're concerned, they could put this together and it will be a Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
For the purist that wants to do all the painting, the streaks and stuff like that, they can then do that.
So the coloured panels, the reds, the darker greys, the greens, you have to do them yourself?
Yeah, no, right, this is the old original part. On the new part, there is apart from this, they have added reds and they have added yellows, all right? So some of the panels that you get for obviously the upper section, the upper hull and the lower hull will have grey panels, will have the odd red panel and this, that and the other. Right. But there are certain parts that don't have those, which will come plain. But as you can see closely, they've been weathered.
Yeah.
All right. So when you look at that, that's the new part against the original part.
Are they resin or is it a plastic?
Sorry?
Is it resin or a plastic?
It's a resin. It's difficult to say. It's not like resin where it's going to snap or anything like that, but it's plastic. But it's like an ABS. It's like an ABS. All the parts are put together using this section here. So this basically builds up, and then all the parts interlock. So once you've actually got these, you'll then interlock parts like so with all these little, see all the little screws at the bottom, the little holes?
Yeah.
They will then all screw into position so that everything is bolted down. So this gives it its strength. All right. Like I say, other hull parts. So all of it bolts together.
As someone who sort of does build videos and someone further, will you get sort of parts in advance of anyone else?
Right. Okay. This one, unfortunately, I don't. All right. The reason being is because Model Space, who I do a lot of stuff for, this is not a model space release. It's a D'Agostini release, which means it goes straight to newsagents. All right. There's a lot of stuff which is model space D'Agostini, which is subscription only, and that basically, yes, I've got boxes, I get everything in advance. So unfortunately, I'm
just curiosity, from the point of view of just curiosity, that perhaps you'd have seen, the sort of quality of future parts over and above the sort of standard 3 or 4.
I wish I could tell you, but unfortunately, no. I'm not going to say that I have when I haven't. So at the end of the day, I'm not privy to anything or anything. I've been privy to a few bits and pieces, but apart from that, nothing that's of any notice or anything. Do you know what I mean?
It's a kit that I would be interested in, but it's just no way on the planet that I'm going to be getting it, because I just can't afford it at the minute, and that's it. I don't know.
It. This is what I say. At the end of the day, if they can't afford it because they think it's expensive, don't buy it. Nobody's pressuring anybody into buying it. Do you know what I mean?
So, out of the people here, it sounds like Andy might have been interested, Andy Johns, or is that perhaps and he's nodding his head? Yes.
I am, but I'm doing the Starships collection at the minute, which is between £20 and £40 a month, depending on whether there's a special edition or not.
Yeah.
How many ships do you get, Andy?
2, unless there's a special edition. If there's a special edition, which they've been doing, like the JJ verse ships, you'll get your standard 2 a month at $9.99, and then you'll get a £20 special, which is obviously much bigger.
It has been an incredibly successful series.
It has, and I'd like to stay with it to the end. Although I'm not fussed about the new Klingon Bird of Prey that's coming out, but then the one after that's the Kelvin, which I do want a decent model of. So
I know I'm a member of a Facebook group specifically for Star Trek. 900 members now. I say there's 900 members, perhaps 100 of them get those ships. Incredibly popular. But saying that, I've seen sets on sale on Gumtree already.
Yeah.
I'm trying to sell the.
Have you got that one yet, Andy?
Yeah. Beautiful. I just got the last month's ones, which were the Oberth and the Kamari and Andorian cruiser, and the Oberth class is one of the best models of that I've ever seen. It's stunningly detailed. Excuse me.
Hope everyone's
but what I'm saying is, Andy, you know what part works are like. At the end of the day, you're spending £40 a month for a series that you're quite happy with, and you're quite happy to collect. And it's down to the individual. There's no pressure here. These newspapers come up with all this rubbish. Do you know what I mean? It's unbelievable.
I mean, if someone
I worked it out that even with the Hasbro, if you start getting all this 3D printed stuff, all your laser etch and everything like that that's going to come out, you're going to end up spending £700 on a Hasbro toy.
I know.
Do you know what I mean?
Other Andy and I were talking about it the other day.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to get ridiculous. And at the end of the day, you still don't have as accurate a kit as what this is going to be.
Exactly.
I mean, at the end of the day, guys, it's down to personal choice, isn't it?
It is, exactly.
I mean, if you want to put it in perspective, if you're all discussing this Millennium Falcon, I spent just a touch under £1,000 to build the Enterprise. So, you know.
Are you on about the JJ?
No, I'm on about the 10350A.
Ah, right, yeah.
So I spent just under £1,000 on that, with the lighting, with the paints, with the extras.
Perhaps the only difference, Jamie, is you can order everything and have everything in one go, whereas with the Falcon, it's obviously going to be 2 years before you get a finished model.
Well, I don't know. It's going to take me a year and a half to do this.
But it's like I say, we're modelers. Look at us when we're doing models. We take our time. You know, it's not a race or anything like that. And I'll tell you now, I've got part works that I've not even started because I don't have the time. And they've finished. They finished 2 years ago. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, you know, the time goes so quick. It's unbelievable. Yeah. You know, if you've got nothing better to do and you're sitting there waiting for the postman, then, you know, get out. But apart from that, there's always something to do. Do you know what I mean? And it's stuff like that. And you got the well, look at us. We've got a community out there to do things. Do something in between. It's a hobby. It's a hobby, and I just think that the press are just. I don't know. They just think we're weirdos.
Yeah, but I mean, they'll go and spend, I don't know, £800 or £900 on a season ticket for football.
Yeah, that's their hobby. Let them do it. Yeah. Exactly. You don't hear us moaning about that.
I just wanted to see what your reaction would be, Spencer, when I mentioned the press. So now I know. No, I agree.
I've seen it all. I've heard it all before, mate. At the end of the day, what's today's news will end up as chip paper tomorrow. So don't bother me in the slightest.
I agree. I agree completely.
Question for Spencer about it though, just a purchasing question. I've got the Hasbro kit. And like Andy said, we've been looking into these 3D printed walls for it and stuff. It's a massive thing. It's lovely, and one day I'll probably build it. But I really would like the D'Agostini one, and I don't mind collecting it. You know, you get a few months worth, and you do a bit of building, and you read the books. Everyone, me and Andy have spent 7 months or more on this JJ.
Yeah.
And we've seen people knock them together in 2 weeks. It's not a race, but I'm possibly moving house in the next 2 months, so all my money's tied up. Now, if I want to, in a couple of months, send the Agostini some money and say, "Hi, can you send me the first 12 issues, please?" Is it possible, or is it, sorry, that's gone now? And
No. Right. When you're subscribed, you're guaranteed your issues. That's it. All right. You're free to stop your subscription at any time. There's no obligation. All right. If you start your subscription now, all right, and then you move, as long as you let them know that you updated your details, they will then send your parts to your new address. Or you can wait until you've moved.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
Or you can wait until you've moved to start the subscription. But no,
I don't
got.
want to miss the first few months because literally.
No. It's not. No, it's not. It doesn't work like that. As with any part work, and anybody would tell you, you'll see it all over the internet, whether they subscribe to Eagle Moss, Hatchet, D'Agostini, whether it be the Nissan GTR, whether it be the Tiger, the Zero, whatever it is. Sometimes, if they come in too late, they might have a bit of difficulty getting their parts, but parts are always replenished, if you know what I mean. This is probably the biggest anticipated release of anything. Do you know what I mean? Because most things have been a car, a robot, you know, this, that, and the other. This is such a big license, you know. You can imagine that every household is going to have one, and they have to take that into consideration.
What size is the Falcon?
What size is it?
Yeah.
It's 32 inches. It's the scale. It's the 1/1 prop. It's 808 millimeters. It's 808 millimeters. So.
About the same size as the Hasbro, isn't it? Or a bit bigger?
What, the Hasbro?
The Hasbro's 28 inches, I think, or something like that.
Yeah. Well, basically, look.
Yeah.
That's a big ship.
Well, if I put it up against the Hasbro one. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that in the. It is on the chair, but that's 808 millimeters.
Nearly half as big again.
Bloody hell, it's massive.
It's huge, isn't it?
Yeah, so you're talking about another.
Hmm? Are you hungry? Getting there.
You're talking about another 6 inches longer. You've only got to look at the size of the parts and the parts difference. I think I did this last time for you guys. But when you look.
There you go.
Do you know what I mean?
It is considered.
Somebody I've seen on the RPF, people, I'm going to get the first few issues and I'm going to use the parts for this on there. It's like, good luck. It's a totally different scale. Do you know what I mean?
No, it's just with literally all my money being tied up for the next couple of months with moving into a new house and everything. I didn't want to miss it.
Right, Andy, don't worry about it, mate. Honestly, it's not one of those ones. And that we've got people subscribing to stuff that ended 2 years ago, and they're quite happily getting their stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Rock and roll. I'm happy with that.
Yeah. So you know, you've got nothing. And if you have any problems, speak to me directly. All right. I'll get you sorted. I promise you that. All right.
Wicked, thank you. Wicked.
Well, I think you've just pushed me over the edge on getting it.
Yeah.
Well, that's me. I'm gonna have to wait literally till March, April time, and then I'll subscribe
Yeah.
and get a back order.
It's fine.
Yeah.
He's part of that bonus I got from work.
Spencer gets 10% for every subscription.
Yeah, I wish.
Well, he's earned it. He's just sold 2 lots.
I still if our numbers come up in the lottery, then over the next month or so, we can still get it.
It's like I say, it's £8. It's what's it, £9 a week.
Yeah.
You know, I don't drink. Yeah, I smoke. It's like that's a pack of fags a week. I have to stop.
Pack of fags or a couple of pints, isn't it? That's all it is.
It is. And now we're on about it's £900, and it's like I bought a car for that. It's like yeah, great, a nice car.
Now I know which paper you read.
I don't, mate. I got the when I said that. Sorry, I was reading an email. That was from the boss at the thing. He said, "Have you read this crap?"
Yeah. Oh dear. No, my wife buys the mail, so I hate the bloody thing. So it was on the mail today. If we move on after that controversial subject, we've gone to Randall again. Randall showing us the T-Bird 2, but I mean that have you a schedule, or is it a case of when I get to it?
When I get to it, really. Just to say, just tinkering away here. Hang on, I have to. I can see what I'm doing now. Adding a bit of lighting inside it.
You see the connectors you've used for the lights there? Is that the little white block something you've put in, or is that a connector you use for
the connector? It's the connector for the lights. I've just knocked it in with a plastic card to make it look like a piece of equipment on the roof or something like that.
Yeah.
You don't always get them, Liam.
Yeah, that's the first time I've seen that particular one.
Mm-hmm. Connector would have looked a bit like this here, but.
Oh, you covered. All right, got you. Now you covered it up. Yeah.
Then covered everything up with the plastic, boxed it in essentially, and then from the front end, if you can make it out there, the pipes or rather the wiring will just look like pipe work on the back wall.
No, that's very effective.
And hopefully, when I get some of the gubbins on the walls, I'll be using some of
Which module is it meant to represent? Will you have a big number on the end of it?
You actually got a set of numbers. I think I can't even remember where I put the decal sheet, but it was I think about 3 different numbers. There's 4 for Thunderbird 4, 3, and
That'd be a good quiz question for someone trying to remember which module was which. To show our age, yes.
Well, it's like Star Trek. How many people will remember? Oh, that came out of the wrong pod. You know, Thunderbird foot counters.
Yes.
I also hope to use some of this stuff here, ship railing for some of the gangways inside.
Very nice, yeah.
Should be at least one gangway, so that whenever Thunderbird 2's up on its legs like this, you can still get down into the pod from the nose section. At least that's my theory anyway. I'm also following these cutaways that you can get.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
I remember TV 21 magazine used to have those on them every week.
Yep. This is book that I've had for some time now.
Yeah, I must have a look out for that one. I haven't seen that one before. There we go. You come on these hangouts, you end up spending money every time. It's terrible.
And I've also...
Yeah, you could be spending it on a partwork.
Up in the loft recently, as I'm sure some of you have seen my posts, I've come across some old models as well, and
Thunderbird 5.
The boring one. Was,
That's the most important one.
it was the most important one, but Jerry Anderson, when he was doing the show, didn't like the John character, so he's stuck him permanently up in Thunderbird 5 out of the way. I think he was never on the ground in one episode.
Oh dear, I know. How did? I know. It'd be interesting to see what the part of this new series coming out. Now our new series of Thunderbirds coming out.
Yeah, about this year sometime. I've only seen one trailer for it, and it's just Thunderbird 5. They've stuck with the basic outline of it, but they've changed the way it works.
Yeah, well.
They've redesigned all of them.
It actually looks a bit like the spaceship from Interstellar.
Right. Well, we'll see, but it's usually a classic thing. You love the original, and you think, well, you don't need to remake that. It's fine, but we'll see. If we move on to John, you're busy working away there.
Yes, I'm just filling a few gaps in, because when you put this, there's like a strip in the bottom along here. This is one separate piece which you slot on, and it's got like a gap in there. See where the putty is? That's a gaping hole there, and also where they've already done the seam on the top there. I've just had to redo that bit there because when I sanded it, it still had a little pit in there. But once this dries in the next hour or two, I can get these. Which way does it go? I can get these two engines on.
Is this the second one of these you've built, John?
Yeah, I'll give me grandson the other one. So these engines kind of fit on there. This is the weird part. It's like a really strange fit. You've got to sort of work them on, but I've got one on either side. Them should slot straight into there. You've got to sort of prop them up and peg them and make sure they're perfectly angled before they're set, because the rest of this ship all goes together pretty straightforward. But I mean, there's still a bag of parts. This is the bag of parts. These all still have to fit on, but they're just parts what fit on all the way along the side and stuff like that. They're just extra parts, but I should have it all assembled by tomorrow. Bit of sand work after that, and then start painting it. Should be finished by the end of the week, I would imagine.
It'll be the improved Mark II version.
No, well, I haven't really done anything different. I've made the lighting inside warm white this time. I did it cool white last time. I've managed to light. You've got these three engines on the back here. There's one here. There's two here. I've managed to light them up a little bit better this time from the inside. It's like the Raytheon effect. I light blocked the whole inside of the ship, and then I used a cotton bud with some acetone on to take the inside of where these engines are, the three engines there. And I've just I've glued some 5mm LEDs together, and then wired them up all in one circuit, and those will light those parts up. Like I say, it's just a Raytheon effect. Once I prime it, I'll probably have to cover those parts up with some tape and then paint, because if I prime it and prime over those parts then paint, you'll hardly notice the LED shining through. So I'll cover those engines up when I prime it, and then when I'm ready to paint, I'll probably give it a quick sand all over with some 600 and then just paint it. It should turn out okay. I mean, I can give you a quick light test. I mean, I've masked the engines with some blue masking tape. I don't know how well it'll show through if I connect them up with a battery. I don't really know if you can see. Nah, you can't really see with it. I'll turn the light off.
Just showing up a little bit.
You still can't see for the masking tape. I'll light the hull up. I've masked those engines off for when I painted it, so for obvious reasons, because I had to make those windows and there was some plastic cord the same as last time. I mean, this kit isn't meant to be lit, but as you know, where there's a will, there's a way. So that's all lit up nice and even.
The warm white definitely works better. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I mean, I did make a mistake on one of the windows, but I went back and redone that, so I'm happy with it so far. It should be finished by the end of the week.
Looking good.
After the start on the Odo figure. So I'm quite happy about that now.
I saw Steve Smith's updates on your.
Yeah, well, I've never actually done a figure or anything like that before. I mean, I can use an airbrush, no problem. I've been using one for years. I used one for art at school and all that sort of thing. But I've never really had much experience painting skin tones and hair and all those sort of things. So that's why I still doing the videos to help us out.
It will be useful for Jamie. Jamie, if you're going to do the Elvira figure, you should have
Yeah, I'm struggling on the skin tones as well.
Yeah.
But I've just had to order some. They should be here this week actually. It's Model Master paints. I got them from eBay. I bought 5 different colours. I got the 2 different skin colours and leather, and I bought about 5 different packs. Costed 14 quid, but it's worth it I think, because the way Steve does them, he seems to get the skin colour and the hair colour just perfect. I mean, he's actually painting the data figure, but he's not painting it as data. He's painting it as Odo. Because as you know, Data's got a pale complexion and he's got like a yellow eyes and all that sort of thing. So he's actually painting it in the colours of Odo.
Is that acrylic job?
What's that?
Is that acrylic you use?
Yeah, it's the Model Master acryls, as they call them.
Yeah,
but, I'm
contemplating using the oils.
I've bought some oils as well, because you need to use both. You've got to use the oils for the like once you've got the main paintwork done, you're supposed to start using the oils for highlights in the hair, shadows on the skin, and just to make it look a little bit more realistic. So I've got both. I've already got the oils. I'm just waiting for the acrylics to come.
If I move on to Jamie now, Jamie, I think you were trying to sort of chat this about the stage which you're at with the Big E.
Yeah, well, as you know, I had a bit of an accident with it. I broke the first one, and then Spencer's kindly offering me his kit. But there's a couple of modifications Spencer's done that I was a bit, so we didn't go down that avenue. So I went out and got another kit, and I've been working on that. At the moment, we've got the top cut head. We have, this is not finished yet. It's just been filled and put in. I've got the, I think you can see it. The grill's in, but it still needs sanding and stuff, so that needs to be done.
So did you carefully have to remove that from your broken one, Jamie?
No, that's a new. I had to buy a new bloody what's name as well. It's all been light blocked. I've also now fitted the navs and the thrusters. They're not wired up, they're just stuck in. Now, there was a load of controversial on, you know, I've looked at loads and loads of pictures of this Enterprise, and at the end of the day, it's how you vision what you see. Boyd on his videos talks about saying how the lights, the bulbs are, he's looked at pictures where they're not sort of through the Enterprise. But I've seen a couple of shots and pictures of the Enterprise, and it's like, if you look closely, if that's the top of the saucer, there is the actual dome of the bulb showing through the top.
Just a tiny bit.
Just a tiny bit. So it's sort of like, you know, it's your personal preference at the end of the day. And do you want it to be very dull and not just hardly seen, or do you want them to be seen like they did on the TV? And I've decided to go with the opinion of having the LEDs just slightly above. So what I've done, it takes a bit of work actually, because I'm using 2mm and 1.8mm LEDs from Jerry, because I wanted a complete lighting. in LEDs for this. So I went to him and got all the LEDs for it. And they don't look too bad, actually, if you can just see. Can you see this? So I've got them, so they're just slightly. I think let's see if we can get another one there. See it? They're just slightly above the surface.
What size are those ones, Jamie?
Yeah. The white one, they're 2 mil.
Did you have to change the size of the holes, or did they just fit
in? I had to. I took off the tops because these tops here don't exist on the. It's what the kit comes as. It's got a top here, so you have to sand these away, and then you have to bore through with the equivalent hand drill until you get the right size hole. It's it's monotonous job doing each one, but it works quite well. If I can just, I mean, this is not light blocks or anything, but I'll light one up and show you, because I can do it on the. Bear with me. I'll show you the difference. I mean, it's not light block on the top. The light block is on the bottom, but it's still going to come through the surface on the top. But maybe I can just show you one. I'll use this so I can just plug it in. Bear with me a sec, I'll show you.
I'm going to log out and log back in again because my screen's gone completely blank. I can't see anything. So.
Okay, Spencer. If you need a link, let me know. Or I'll invite you back in again.
Should be alright now that it's going.
There you go. What do you see? Obviously the top needs to be.
Can you turn it on its side, Jamie? Aye, like that.
Hang on. Let's come out with it.
Right. Looks just about right.
Yeah, it's about the right level. Of course, when the top's been all painted and you won't see that glare on top. You'll just see the ball.
Yeah.
Plus, it'll be connected to the board, so it'll just be flashing as it's supposed to.
Yeah, it'll be sort of like that. But you ain't going to get that much brightness on the top. You ain't going to get that much of a glare. It's because none of this has been painted yet. So this is like, even though I've light blocked this, you've still got to do the surface. This is just full of plastic. I haven't actually done anything with this at the moment. Because last time I did it, and I tried to put this in, I'd actually prepared the top with the pre-paint, but it was great difficulty trying to smooth this down to level off with what's name. So I put this in first, and then I'm going to sand this first, so it's level with the what's name, and then paint it afterwards. So you get the finished look as a completed thing. I've done the bridge again, so that's I've got the little bits inside the little bridge.
You've raised the height slightly, is that the...
Yeah, well, if you look at the back, you can see how far I've raised it.
Yeah.
So I've took it up, put all the plastic round it. You can actually see it's smoothed off, but you can still see the joint where it is because it's not painted. And I've even got the little bits of plastic. Can you see that? On the inside of these.
Oh, so the corner piece on, yeah.
Yeah, because it directs the light better. Because the original one does have them on.
They're almost like little shutters.
Yeah, it's like a little shutter on the inside. So you got the plastic bit here, but then you've got on the inside of that you've got a little tiny bit of plastic each side, which it directs. Somehow it directs the light better. And I'm halfway through doing the new rec deck. I'm quite pleased with it because it's coming out not too bad.
So are you raising the bridge because it's just too small anyway, or?
No, the reason for raising the bridge, yeah, one, it's too small, and two, if you
in order to light the registry.
Yeah, I'll be doing that as well.
So the original one, if you look, I'll put it where it originally was. So that's where, if you can see this.
Up a
A bit
bit.
higher.
Right, this is where it originally was.
Mhm.
Right, but if you try and put an SMD in here, it won't shine onto the registry there.
Yeah.
So what you have to do is you have to raise it up so that comes forward.
Okay.
So when the SMD hits that deck, it's going to light the registry up, and that's the reason for raising this up a bit.
It's worth it because it lights it up a whole lot better, doesn't it?
Oh God, yeah. It's a hell of a
It's far better looking than the. Some people put a single light in the forward end of the BC deck.
Now the two bits
Like
of
the
plastic
register,
there.
that's just-
You see those two little bits of plastic? When the light hits that and comes through, it gives it a bit of. It's like the beam instead of the half beam.
Beam's focused almost.
Yeah, instead of it just coming out like that, it comes out in a proper, like a. Hang on, I'll do it that way.
Like a fan.
Out, like all over, you get a proper along the registry each side.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it literally lights this up instead of just coming out and just dispersing. You get the proper half beam that comes around here. And it works really well. Then you've got the rec deck, which I'm nearly finished, but not quite. So let me see this.
Up a little bit more. Yeah, you've done a good job on that, Jamie.
Yeah, if you look closely, I've even got a character on the bench. I don't know if you can see it.
Excellent.
But it's still, I've still got to put the bushes in here and here, the vegetation. But apart from that, it's not far off finished the rec deck. I'm going to put a couple more people in there, and I'm going to put another person on the bench here, and I might put one in a chair there. And then I've got some green trees, plants, and stuff to go in there. But yeah, it's coming on. And when that goes in the sauce, I mean, even without the glass in, I'll just do this. It's only roughly. It looks quite effective. So you got. I don't know if you can see that. Is that?
Very nice.
Looks great.
When that's lit up, it'll be quite good. So that's where I'm at. I mean, I've had this now. Oh, I'm working about 5-6 weeks now, and I'm only at this stage. Obviously, I've gone back and I've had to redo that top. But while I was waiting for that to do, I managed to get the bottom part prepped. So you've got that light blocked, and then you've got this bit's been cut out for the SMDs and the light to go out that way. And then I've drilled the hole for the wires to come through, the hole saucer, when it's all done, to go through the neck.
Well, that's a big saucer.
Yeah, it's. But in between that, all I'm doing all that, I'm going to be working the Elvira kit, and you know, I'm not just going to concentrate on the Enterprise because, like I said,
you'll get jaded with it if you do. It'll drive you demented. So
yeah, I'll just go stir crazy with it. So what I do is I do a bit at a time, go back to it, put it away, do a bit more, and just generally, I don't want to feel like I have to work on it. I want to every time I work on a section of it, just take my time with it. You know, paint a little bit, do a little bit more. If it doesn't look right, you know, what can I do to make it better? And then just go on from there. But I've got a lot of boards for this, and it's working out, you know, how all these boards are going to come together and work. It's like at the moment you got the crystal. Now Ralph's got the MEV board set up where it just comes on yellow, and then when the nacelles light up, it goes out, and it only comes on again when the impulse engines light. That's fair enough. I mean, that's the way he's seen it in the dry dock as it leaves. It's just the impulse crystal. But I want the ability to have, when the nacelles light up, the crystal turns blue. And to do that, you've got to have a bipolar, the same one that's in the reflector dish, same sort of bulb as that. And I've been talking to Ralph about how can I adjust it, so instead of just using one yellow LED for crystal, can I put a bipolar in there and have it work off the nacelles? And he's going to get back to me about it, because it means slightly rewiring the board somehow. But I'm hoping I can do that, because when it starts for the movie sequence, when the nacelles come on, then I'll be able to have the crystal turn blue, which is I kind of like that idea. So I'm hoping he can come up with something to that for me.
The only thing I've noticed, and probably Andy Johns maybe has seen this, is that Boyd added an Arduino section onto the SFMA forum.
Was he?
Yeah. Oh, he's instantly woken up. And someone's posted a couple of things on it, including one from Brit Modeler that I had seen before, where a guy posted a complete sequence to use the Arduino board with an ATI Tiny Mega, one of the little small programmable chips. So the whole sequence is there as a series of steps. The Brit Modeler failed, but the guy who was involved in it runs in our forum. I'm trying to chat to him at the minute, but he hasn't responded to me. Because that's always been my interest, to maybe go that route. And if we're doing the build with John Petley has the enterprise build coming up.
What's he done? Has he put the sketch on there, like?
The whole sketch is there on the...
what shape's that for?
For the refit.
Right.
And he shows it as a video sequence with the different stages, as Jamie talked about, with the the different colours. And obviously the colours are down to you, because you just use the LEDs you want at the time then. But I don't think he has the bipolar in it, but that's the only thing. But again, it's, as a start point...
What I wanted for the crystal, I want the crystal to change from yellow to blue. When the nacelles come on, I want the crystal to be blue, and when the impulse engines come on, I want them to be like a yellowy orange.
The advantage of the Arduino route, and suppose Andy may or may not agree with me, is that at least at one stage you can do it in an economic way, and then add to it if you want to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've already committed myself to Ralph's board, so I've got.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
I spent a lot of money with Ralph, and I do like his start up his sequence, the 10-second delays on each and every one. It's just the fact that I want to put in a bipolar instead of just having a yellow LED for the crystal. That's the only difference I want. And he's going to work something out, I think. But it's like, at the end of the day, I think, I spent a lot of money on this build, and I just want it to be, a really special build. From, it's like most people just put the one board in, and then they've got the thrusters working on a main power, so the thrusters are just constantly on. I went down the route of having Ralph's thruster board, so they're going to intermittently flash.
Yeah, it looks much better. Yeah.
Yeah, which again is a complete whole board just for 10 thrusters, and then you've got the lights up, lights down, that's another board, and then you've got the sound, that's another board, then you've got the phasers and photo torpedoes, that's another board, and it's like all these boards are somehow going to come together and work as in a sequence to go with the main board, which is on a timed startup sequence. And it's like I was talking to Jerry about the phaser and photo torpedoes, and obviously the phasers aren't white, and I can understand why Ralph's done this, because it reflects off because the impulse engines are red. But I wanted to have like something that what the Enterprise fired, it was like a reddish glow phase that comes off the Enterprise. If you watch any of the movies, you'll see this reddish phase that come off the Enterprise, and they're not white. So what we worked out is I'm going to do the impulse engines, and it's like a reddish orange glow, and then the phases are going to be a red. So you'll have a contrast of what the two are towards the impulse engines and the phasers. And again, you'll notice the difference between the photo torpedoes and the phasers. There's going to be a distinct difference, but I'm not going to go down having them bright white because the phasers on the Enterprise weren't white. So I'm trying to get the thing as authentic to the model that was on the TV show as I can, but you've got to make compromises somewhere, and you know.
I don't think anyone's ever built the perfect Enterprise. Each one has had advantages and improvements, and Simon Merck's putting lasers in light, for example, and that type of thing. It's just
yeah. I mean, I don't think we'll be going down that route, but you know, if I can just have the phase on the flash, and
if I'm just constantly left to one here, guys, I just want to try and get a chat to Craig first, unless Craig's tied up. I think he might be. If we go on to the two Andys, the JJ men, shall we describe them as being tonight? So, Andy, I mean, do you have the JJ? You're almost finished one there. I know it's not lit, but even you get an idea of. It's a lot bigger than you expect too when you see them.
It's huge. Yeah, it is. It's nice. So, yeah, I mean, it's obviously got.
You must be very happy.
Yeah, I am. There's a few bits I kind of wish I'd done in slightly different colours. But overall, yeah, I mean, for the amount of time that, you know, it's been 7 months.
That's what nice build up.
We've even got, I don't know if you can see.
yeah, the
I built out this little bit on the back here, and there's 2 SMDs in that which light up the registry on there. I mean, there's a few little touch-ups I need to do where there was some dodgy masking and it took some decals off, but Andy's going to send me some spares for that, so I'll fix those up.
Have you got a stand in mind, Phil?
Yeah, we're working on that at the minute, building some 3-inch high boxes by, well, around an A4 Perspex sheet, and I've got some masks. So basically, I've got NCC 1701, and then the Delta, and actually I haven't even spoken to Andy about this new idea that I've got, but I'm either going to go that way. I was either going to like have 2 thicknesses of Perspex sheet, one which is blue, one which is clear, and then put this decal on the back of the clear, paint that matte black, and then obviously take the masking off, and it would have the clear lettering, which I'd then backlit with blue LEDs in the box, so I'd get a nice blue lit lighting, you know, through for all the letters and that. And I still may do that, but then I had a thought about doing prints on transparency. So actually doing something, you know, getting actually printed, getting a design. Well, I'll make my own design because
you would probably need to go down a photographic route. However, the printed transparency still tend to transmit light.
Exactly. Yeah. So have like 2 sheets of it, both identical, black background, but then have colours. Probably the same thing, but I could put a lot more detail into it. Is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And then having the two layers of it, the black I think would stop any lighting coming through where it didn't need to be. So I don't think it's going to cost much to try, and it will still work in exactly the same way. So I'll probably design that tomorrow, get them printed up, have a look what that's going to look like, and then decide where to go from there. But yeah, it's going to have those lit LED buttons that you can get now. They're like the cat's eye ones because they look amazing, even though they're like £5 each. But yeah, got 2 for the weapons. Obviously the photon, which is just a press, the phasers, which is just a press, and then a power button, which will just light everything and do the motors as well.
So it'll be silly after putting so much effort into the model to have a stand that didn't do it justice. So certainly that's the case. So
yeah.
And And the other Andy, you're almost at the same stage or a little bit behind?
I've got, I don't know, a dozen decals that need to go on the nacelles and the ship. I need to redo the fantail upward lighting for the back registry because it was built with filler and that and styrene, and it's crumbled a bit, just slightly where I've knocked it. So, and then literally a little bit of touch-up paint, and then attach the nacelles, and yeah.
Do you think the fact that you were both building at the same time has meant you built it much quicker? Or is it simply that there's been a lot of advantages in building it together? You know, obviously compared. Andy's laughing here. I don't know what they are. Andy's laughing. I don't know why.
I'm looking at the camera. This is serious. The advantages are that every now and then Andy will email me saying, "Just tried doing this. Don't do that. Let's do it this way." You know, don't do that. Whatever you do, open this email. Don't do this.
If only Craig and Paul was here at the very beginning, Andy could have done everything, and then you could have all learned off now. So, oh dear, dear.
I suggested something to Andy, and he's like, "All right, yeah, okay, all right, I'll take this out and I'll do that then." And it's good for that point because we've got two heads thinking about it, and we look. Well, before you even set the lid off the box, we were talking about it for a few weeks, going, "Well, what about this SMDs then? What about this, and we planned it out. And before we even probably glued kit parts together, we were probably 2 months into the building other parts for it, internal structures and things.
I think that's been the one good thing about what we've done is we didn't just go, head first into the kit. I mean, I put a hell of a lot of work into the board, the lighting board up front. What are we going to actually light? How are we going to light it? SMDs versus LEDs or versus LED strip. And that definitely helped. I think if anything, it's taken us longer because we've both been like, I'd go ahead, then I'd kind of stop and I'd wait for Andy to catch up because I didn't want to get too far ahead, and then he'd get a bit ahead of me, and yeah, it took us, I'd say 7 months. You could probably put it together faster, but
there's literally 2mm, 3mm, 5, every SMD. It just to work out the best way to draw it out first, and with Andy's lighting on it that powers it all. I'm dead happy with it. There's things I'd change. If I ever build it again, I'm not going to.
Everyone seems to build one JJ in their life, but mine will stay in the box for a while. A lot longer, yeah, we'll see. But,
a couple of months into it, Andy said we should turn this into the Kelvin from the first movie. It'd work. And I'm like, yeah, it would. But no. No, it's just no. This box haunts me.
Well, I mean, we look forward to seeing funny photographs and even ideally a video.
There will be.
It's the only thing from everybody building, and that's why I'm talking about trying to get a webcam set up to try and do more videos this way. It's quite often everyone will present a photograph of a finished article or part way through and so on, and you'd love to sort of see how did they get to that point. This Chris and Alex modeling the family father-son thing I talked about, they literally record the whole thing. It sounds perhaps a little bit extreme, but sometimes you can watch them and say, oh, that's how they do that, and that's the technique they're using, and so on. I noticed Dean's just joined us and he's blowing bubbles for some reason, but if we get a quick chat to Craig first and then we'll come back to Dean if that's okay. Craig, are you free now, or?
It's not me.
No. I know, someone messing about with stuff. 2 minutes, well, we'll go to Dean then. Hi Dean, thanks for joining us. We're almost over this evening, about 5-6 minutes left in the broadcast, unfortunately.
I keep forgetting what time it's on.
Tell the truth, you're too busy having a sleep after your dinner or something, that's what it is.
When I'm doing stuff, I just get engrossed and I forget, so I think, no, I must get on there, but I usually miss it.
Because we love seeing everything you're doing as well. You always come in at the end and annoy us with these huge builds and latest projects, whatever it might be. But
what, like these?
Oh, I had to open my mouth. Yes.
Like these Cleon Bird of Prey guns, you mean?
Yeah. It's more like a something a Klingon would have in his hand. Never mind on his.
You could rob a bank with that.
Yeah.
They
Saw
got
some of the
motors in.
pictures.
Big, isn't they?
God, if that's a gun, how big's the ship?
Say what?
That's the gun. How big's the ship?
It's massive.
It's actually. Is it the 1350, Ben?
It's a wing.
God.
Yeah.
It's bigger scale than that.
Yeah.
It's like a studio scale thing.
Scale.
Yeah, it is a studio scale. They used the bloke who built this is the body. Used exactly the same kit parts that they used on the studio model.
God.
I mean, you've got a lot done since the last time we spoke. How do you think it's going now? I mean, have you improved your opinion of it? At one stage, you seemed to think there was a lot of.
Oh, it's still not like ideal as a kit. I would say it's more like a collection of parts. You've got to sort of think, does that go there or does this go there, and sort of work it out for yourself. I mean, for instance, that bit there, where does that go? You know, how far does that go on? You just got to sort of guess, and there's no locating pins for anything on this hardly. You've got to, like I say, make it up as you go along, or look at reference pictures, and there's pictures of all the parts apart from the bits I need to look at as usual. But it's a nice kit. I mean, I'd like one myself. It's not mine, obviously. It's a commission build, but I mean, they've even included little bits like these supports underneath the secondary gun. But it's nice, like I say. But it's not something. Without trying to sound arrogant, it's not something anyone could build. You know?
I believe it. Yeah, I mean, I just. It's when I see what some people on here do, and I just wish I could build to your standards, but. Let's practice with everyone, I suppose, and just keep going and hide the disasters, or go up and say you're going to improve on it the next time. That's the big build for you anyway for the next couple of months, presumably.
Well, I was over Christmas. Hang on.
You had been working on the Batmobile.
Yeah, I am doing that, but I also done this over Christmas as a bit of a break. I've done something that I could just stick together and paint.
Oh, that's cool
Nice.
too, yeah.
I don't know what's coming out like on your screens, but it looks terrible on this one. But I mean, this was a Christmas present, and I didn't have to put no lights in it, no modifications, slap it together, paint it. So I done it just as like a modelling break, you know what I mean? And then
yeah, it's a nice gift apparently too. So.
And then I have one of those little Bandai X-wings. I'm like 80% done on that as well, and it's nice just being able to glue bits together and then paint them rather than thinking, oh, I got to put a light in there, or am I going to get a light in there?
Yep. That's what I'm saying to the guys. I did a 1/48 scale aircraft today, or at least get a good start on it, because I just needed something to say you could achieve something after 3 or 4 hours work rather than had 10 more LEDs or now 50 fibers or something.
That Bandai X-wing is a lovely little kit, and I've been enjoying just gluing stuff. Like I said, a tool I've been using the most. I don't know if anyone else got one of these. They're brilliant for liquid glue. It's a glass tube. I don't know if you can see, but there's like a needle on the end.
It's like a pipette, which is what you use. Yeah, and you put your finger on the end.
Yeah, that's all you do. You put it in your liquid plastic stuff. Like, what's it called? This stuff. Hang on, there you go. Brilliant, that is.
Oh, well, yeah.
That is brilliant stuff. £5 off eBay, and you can pick it up from the local Argos. But it's like you put it in there, and you just touch the seam, and it just comes out. Enough comes out. You don't get no like, oh, I've smeared it a bit with my brush or anything like that, or I've missed, because it goes right in the joint where you need it, and it just comes out the end as needed.
I was saying to Andy earlier on. I mean, I've started using the Tamiya.
Yeah.
Extra thin stuff, which behaves in a similar way, because it will work by capillary reaction. Building an aircraft model today, I mean, the size of the brush on the end, again, it's a little fine brush, and the glue itself is just so fluid. You just touch it to a seam. You don't even use it on the inside of a seam. You get the two parts. You put the two parts together. You run it along the seam, and just capillary reaction just goes and glues within 40-50 seconds.
Well, after that X-wing, I haven't even used filler for, because with it actually liquefying the plastic, squash it together slightly, and you just get like a little. It looks like a miniature weld seam.
Yeah, it just comes out slightly, and you just stand that up. Yeah, it's amazing stuff. So, similar idea. I have to say hello to Craig because he's been sort of sitting here all night. We haven't spoken to him at all. Hi,
He's
mate.
himself now.
It's all good. It's all good, man. I've just been busy finishing off me showing the sheep thing for Grace.
Very good. While she's taking down the Christmas decorations, I think, as well in the background.
That's me showing the sheep.
Very good.
It lights up, doesn't it, Craig?
It does, yeah. Oh, go on, then you hold the camera just there, then, sweetheart. Glad to see you making yourself useful there.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Down a bit. There you go. Right, so it's
on the second.
Yeah, but general gist.
Good colours on them, Craig.
There's the headlights and the spotlights.
Cool.
Excellent.
Oh, if I can keep them on. There you go.
Were those SMDs or LEDs?
They're LEDs. I've got the brake lights on at the back as well. I've got to put a flasher unit on for the indicators. So they're going to do that.
Cool.
Have them flashing like hazard lights, or
Eh?
you're going to have them flashing like hazard lights, or
Have all 4 flashing lights, hazard lights, yeah. So that's what I was doing. I was just finishing off that Land Rover, which was why I was quiet.
Well, we give you peace to do it as well, so it's great.
You did, yeah. No pressure out.
No. It's nice to see everyone finishing something off. It's just after a half, guys. Unfortunately tonight I do have to shut off quite quickly, but I don't know. Craig and I were having a discussion about the regularity and so on of these. I mean, I'm quite happy to stick to weekly. It's up to yourself. Do you think weekly is enough, or should we go bi-weekly? Maybe it's too often. What's the feeling?
I don't mind weekly. That's one vote.
Well, same thing. So long as we're sharing the load in the meantime, it's fine. Just stick with the same time. 7's ideal for me. I don't know about the rest of you, but
When I remember.
yeah, I'll have to set up there is a thing on the Google Plus if you have it, Dean. It'll remind you when
I never know how to get on there. You know how I get on? Every time I get onto here, I've got to go into the messages you sent me and click the link you sent me about 3 weeks ago. I don't know how to get on here.
I know I get pestered if I register for John's or any of the other Hangouts. I get these reminders come in like an hour before, and then half an hour before, and then 15 minutes. You're going to be late. But it all comes through my phones. I don't know. I think the phone's linked into the Google Plus account. I think that's the reason it happens.
Well, I'll have to have a look, see if I can enable notifications or something. I'll probably turn them on.
Although, if you do a lot of Hangouts, it drives you demented. You get so many of them. There's Heath Tompkins in Australia does one that's middle of the night, and twice it's woken me up with reminders about the bloody thing. So just be careful what you turn on. You may regret it.
There's this one, isn't there? And there's the one in the week, which is it Boyd's own one?
No, Heath Tompkins is one that's it's in Australia. He's an Australian guy that I've never joined in here because I think the timing's all wrong. But Heath does a lot of the LR community hangouts, and he runs his own Isle of Misfit Builders, I think he calls it. But again, it's odd times for us. So, but correct for Australia and for America. Boyd has the hangout, the Builders Hangout now on. Or not a Builders Hangout, the On the Bench one, which is every Saturday night, I think, at 2 in the morning, our time.
Oh, is it?
So it's a bit late, but depends if you're a night owl or not. So
yeah.
I know Jamie's waving there. He's always on it. Yes, I know. And Eric Hawkins and various different other people are all attending quite regularly. But say thanks again, everyone, for attending tonight for the first meetup of the year. And I hope it's an ongoing thing for the rest of 2015. We keep this going, try and build up the numbers again, because we'd fallen off over Christmas. You all deserted us. You were all away partying and whatever else was happening. But we're glad to see you all back here tonight again. So good night, everybody. Thanks for joining in. I'll just stop the broadcast now.